Hey guys, welcome back to Sockets and Sideburns. So hopefully a nice quick video for today. We're going to be replacing the mirror indicator lens on this Renault Scenic 3. Now, as you can see, there's been a slight glancing contact between, shall we say, another large moving object and this vehicle, which has cracked the lens on here. Now this video will work for you if you either want to swap the mirror lens out like me, or if you just need to change the bulb. The process is the same for both sides, and this will work on the Scenic 3s and also the Meganes as well. Now, if you are replacing the lens though, in my experience, it's always best to get a genuine original part for things like this, as you can see I've done here. You can buy copycat items, but they really are hit and miss on the quality, mostly with the fit, and they could be an absolute pig to get in. I picked this one up on eBay for a tenner, and the copycat ones aren't a whole lot cheaper. Now, I will put a link in the description for a copycat one anyway, just in case you're really struggling to find an original one. Now, the Renault part number for these lenses is 261600001R for the driver's side and 261600002R for the passenger side. Just bearing in mind, of course, that this is a UK car. Okay, now, sometimes these little lenses can be a bit involved to get out, but this one is actually super easy to do. Usually we need to poke around behind the glass to get the front cover off, but not on this Scenic. Renault's actually done pretty good on these. Right, so to remove this lens, what we need to do is very carefully use a plastic trim tool or a flat blade screwdriver, a thin one, although I do not recommend you do that, because if you slip or anything like that, you're going to damage either this black shroud or your paintwork. Now, the only situation I'm going to recommend a screwdriver over a trim tool in is if you don't have enough room to actually get in here to start your pry. We'll get to that in a minute. There is a way around that. And all we're basically trying to do is just create enough room to get our trim tool behind here and just pry out at this wide end, just in front of the black shroud here, get behind and just pry out and away from the wing mirror to get the two small clips that are behind here to clear around the shroud. Now, like I just mentioned, you might find that there isn't a whole lot of room here. There's no gap here in front of the shroud to get your trim tool behind the lens itself. Now, before you're tempted to use a screwdriver, what I want you to do is just try and give it a little push on this flat piece here on the lens itself forward, because as you might be able to see here, these lenses are not a perfect, not a tight fit into this recess. So there's a little bit of give, and what we should be able to do, you can either just push on it with your trim tool, or usually, even with just your thumbs, there you go, you see, you made a huge amount of space here. And now we can just get our trim tool in behind here, and we can pry out, and then the clip that's just here as well, that should just release with a pop. I'll leave a link in the description of the video for where you can pick these trim tools that I've got up. So now, if that wasn't clear enough, after we'd popped it out here, all we were doing is just angling over and away from the mirror, and all it'll do is just pop out past that little clip there. Okay, now we have it out, we can just pull out the bulb holder from the lens itself, grab the rubber part, not the wires, and just give it a wiggle, and it will come out like that. Okay, now we can see the bulb to change it. Obviously, if you were just changing the lens, you can just skip this step. Okay, now to change the bulb, you just simply pull on the bulb, pull it out of the bulb holder, and it will come out. Make sure you hold the bulb holder and pull on the bulb, not hold the wires and pull on the bulb. And just pull it out like that. Now, these bulbs are WY5W. I'll leave a link in the description to some, the ones that I've got here. Make sure you use them and not just normal W5Ws. They need that orange tint on the glass because there's no orange tint on the lens. Right, now we've got our new one to fit in. It doesn't matter which way round they go. Make sure not to handle it with your bare hands. Wear clean gloves or use a clean piece of tissue or something like that. It might not be as much of a problem on just indicator bulbs because they don't run for a long time. But basically, if you get any of your hand oils, creams, anything like that on the glass, it can create a nice little hot spot, and that will cause the bulb to prematurely fail. Like I said, it might not be so necessary with like indicator bulbs and things, but it's just a good habit to get into, and good habits last a lifetime. Okay, so all this does is just basically pushes back into the contacts inside the bulb holder. Now, what you might find with these that can happen, because this is just rubber, as you push it in, if you don't have it perfectly aligned, you might find that the contacts are forced back before they actually make with the bulb, and then you'll really struggle once they're right back down in the bulb holder there to actually get it to engage. Now if that happens and you do force them in, just very gently feed your wires back in from the rear of the bulb holder until the contacts are back up at the front, just like that there, and then have another go. Right, so just push this in, support the bulb holder from the back, and just wiggle. And there we go, I've got it first time. And then make sure that it pushes right to the back, hold the bulb holder by the sides, make sure the bulb goes right in. Right, before we put the lens back in, what we'll do, just give this a quick check. We can just run the hazard lights in order to do that, so that we don't have to faff around putting the ignition on to use the indicators. There we go, working fine. Okay, with that confirmed, we can refit the lens now. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is refit the bulb holder to the lens. There are two prongs on the lens which are going to engage with two recesses on the bulb holder itself. You can't really go wrong because it will not go in if you don't do it right. Make sure they're all the way in. That keeps that in place. And then all you need to do, draw it back so that that clip is going into the aperture in the wing mirror itself, and then guide the pointy end, narrow end, in. And once that's in and going in nicely, these two clips, just gently from the rear end, just give it a little push and you should hear a nice series of clicks as it goes in. Just don't force it, give it a wiggle in, and then just sort of give it a poke and a prod. Make sure it's all flush and nicely secure. Make sure it's not going to come out, and all flush all around. And you've got a nice same size gap all the way around. Perfect. And that is that. Job done. Okay guys, that's it for this one. Now as always, if you've enjoyed this video or it's helped you out at all, then please hit the like button for me. If you'd like to see more videos from the channel in the future, then don't forget to subscribe, and you can find me over on Instagram @SocketsAndSideburns. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next video.